Hello and welcome to the Elgon Center for Education. My name is Abdul Karim Taraja. Today I have something that is totally disturbing my mind, and it is something that I think want to talk about it. And this concerns the young people of my age, the young people that maybe are slightly over me, people who have children that are currently at the age of 12 and below. And this cadre in the recent years, especially in the slopes of Mount Elgon, some of them who are semi-educated, for instance, they are actually in the competition of a polygamous relationship. It is quite interesting and saddening my heart that I've seen and encountered many, some of whom are my close kins, deciding to especially marry the second or the third wife and completely abdicating its own responsibilities of taking care of the children that has been born by the first wife, some totaling to about 8 children. Makiu, you find a kid who is around 17 or 18 years old in standard 5 or grade 5 currently, or grade 6 at the moment, with the others so many lined up, and the father is actually has gone out there to marry a second wife. And the funny thing is, whatever they have built over years with this first wife and the children is now coming back as a man of the house, coming to plug these resources one at a time, and indeed sharing with the other incoming wife, who at the same time do not even want to see or to be associated with the first wife and the children. It is a matter of concern to me as the founder and executive director of Elgon Center for Education and for Elgon Center for Education itself, because we are witnessing a society where some few people, courtesy of a short entertainment and love, is actually going to affect the lives of so many children who are being born and left there to wander, or are being left to a very struggling mother to take care of 7 children, with the father abdicating its duties and actually moving from the house to stay in the other house. I've seen and witnessed the first wife working so hard to provide food for the children, to provide education for the children, to farm the farm produce in order to secure the food basket of the house, only for the husband who has gone hunting for another wife to come and sell this produce and actually they take all the monies and the resources of the other wife. It is saddening, and it is something that is a matter of concern to me. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because, the world at the moment is about taking children to the schools. We do not have currently in the 21st century the luxury of having a land for inheritance. The parents we have did not leave anything for us. And so, if we are not careful, we are not going to leave anything for these children in future. So it's upon us, both individual and collective responsibility, to see that we support our children, that we talk about these issues in those barasas, in those meetings that we meet, so that at the end of the day, we have to give birth to children we can all take care of. I know it's not my business whatsoever to dictate on how people want to live their life. It is not for me to tell a husband who is ready to marry a second or third wife how to treat his own family. My interest is you can marry as much as you can, but indeed, what is it that you are doing for the first children that you have? What is it, and how are you really providing for them? What are you giving them in future that even if you will not be there, they will have their own lives to live? You see, when we marry and sad or fast families and their mothers and their children. At the end of the day, the children suffer. They will drop out of school and they will not have a livelihood to live. They will not have a competitive pace to compete with the rest that are accessing education full time. The resources in the future, currently and in the future, is about education. So if you don't have education, you don't have to compete for the opportunities that are limited that will give you an impetus to make a home, to better that home. So it is up to us, ladies and gentlemen, to talk to each other. If your parent, if your cousin, if your brother is the kind of this person I'm talking about, please, you can have a sit down as a family and talk about it. If we are not, the poor as poor as we are going to build and raise a very poor community of young people, and that means that we'll have a very poor community. The many poor people we have, the many illiterate fellows we will have in future, courtesy of the way our parents are possibly treating them, the challenge we will have in the community will be so much. The rate of crime will be high, the rate of illiteracy will be so high, the rate of marginalization will be so high, and as a community we might lose a voice. The few that will be able to achieve that such kind of education will move out of their way because they will not be able to live in a society that people are ignorant. So let's look at this thing in a holistic way and let's talk about it because it matters. If it doesn't matter to you, it matters to me, and it matters to that young man and woman whose decisions are being made by people who don't care. So let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do. And this is my take on Germany. Thank you.